Excited to introduce Christina Canavari and is currently serving as the manager of DOR's Student Services section. Christina's passion is focused on strengthening DOR's outreach and engagement with youth and those involved in their lives. Christina believes in the inherent potential of all youth with disabilities and that early conversations about employment expectations help pave the way for meaningful careers later in life. Her efforts include strategic collaboration with our community partners with the goal of ensuring that youth have access to the services and supports that empower them to make well-informed decisions about their pathway towards independence. Please join me in welcoming Christina, who will share her insights about our student services and introduce our speaker today.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so happy that you all are joining this spotlight on Social Security focused on students. Over the past decade, there has been an evolution in the timing, the intent, the structure in DUR's engagement with students. There is a long list of things that have changed, but one of the most significant evolutions is that DUR has developed and incorporated defined service options specifically for students with disabilities. These defined options frame and structure the interactions, the conversation that DUR has with students. A few examples. One of the defined service options is job exploration, studying the labor market, taking interest inventories, investigating non-traditional employment. Another service option is focused on work-based learning through volunteering, internships, or supporting that very first job. Another service option is post-secondary counseling, looking at the next step in education or training required for a specific career path. And another service option revolves around self-advocacy, developing those skills because being able to speak up for yourself, to ask for what you need, and to know your rights is essential not only for the workplace, but also for adulthood. Now, these themes of these new service options are not new. They've always been at the heart of vocational rehabilitation. But what is different today is that we've refined those themes, named them, made them intentional. In these focused service options, DUR is building on the knowledge, the research, our experience, that early conversations about career matter. But those conversations can't only be about, quote, what the student wants to do when they grow up, unquote. So for an example, when a student meets with their DOR team, there's a clear focus. If the conversation is about looking for a summer job, the conversation will include what does the student hope to gain beyond a paycheck? What do they hope to experience or learn? If the student is involved with a volunteering opportunity, what is the student learning about themselves? Or what skills are they developing? Or are they learning what their work style is? And if the conversation is about career goal, and there are a lot of conversations about career goal, it might include discussing what careers belong on or off the student's consideration list. DUR is starting those conversations earlier, helping students to explore their interest, develop skills, and to think about what kind of future they want for themselves. We're thinking about the student as a whole person, ultimately helping students, and it helps us serve them better. In summary, DUR has always, and we continue to work toward a California where a student with disability has the resources, support, opportunities needed to achieve their full career potential. Together in collaboration with local education, community partners, business owners, and the employer community, and families, We are building pathways that honor students' dreams, strengths, and interests to help them grow into active, valued, engaged, and employed members of their communities. And with that focus on students, on their futures, on their success, let's talk more about this spotlight on Social Security on the topic of student earned income exclusion. The student earned income exclusion is a work incentive that can truly open doors for students with disabilities who want to work, who want to enter the workforce to gain experience, develop work habits, learn about a specific career path. It also opens doors for students with disabilities who want or need to keep their essential supports in place. Today's webinar is all about information, dispelling myths, and reviewing the tools to help students to succeed and excel as members of the workforce without fear about the impact upon their essential supports. So whether you're a student yourself, a family member, a professional supporting a youth in transition, today's information will be valuable and empowering. Let's meet our presenter today. It's my great pleasure to introduce Tina Martinez. Tina brings a wealth of knowledge and a deep commitment to supporting individuals with disabilities who are on their path to employment. If you've ever had the opportunity to attend a meeting with or a presentation by Tina, you know that you're in store for a treat today. Please join me in welcoming Tina to our Zoom stage.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful introduction. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I appreciate you all being here. We're going to talk about SEIE and some of what Social Security has to offer outside of that as well. Today, we're going to really focus on how students receiving Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, can explore work opportunities without immediately losing their benefits. So I'm going to explain what work incentives are, how they help, and answer common questions that we receive from students and their families. So the goal today is basically give you clear and practical guidance so that young people, their families, again, their support teams can make informed decisions with confidence. So understanding supplemental security income and SSDI, or Social Security Disability Insurance, is crucial for achieving financial independence and ensuring access to necessary health care for students and young adults with disabilities. Social Security disability benefits can help with school, with work, and with daily living. So Social Security offers work incentives to help people with disabilities move toward work and independence without losing those benefits too soon. So understanding SSI and SSDI early can help our students and families plan better and feel more confident about the future. So for this presentation, we're focusing on students who receive SSI, but I want to quickly go over the difference between the two main disability programs for individuals with disabilities. So we have Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, and Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI. For both programs, obviously you would need to meet Social Security's disability rules to be eligible. On the SSI side, it is a needs-based program for people with low income and few resources. So to qualify, you must have less than $2,000 in resources as a single person. Your monthly payments may change based on income, incentives used, and other variables. And then with SSI, you get the SSI linked Medi-Cal, or otherwise known as Medicaid in other states, that health coverage. On the other side, SSDI is more of an insurance program and you pay through your paycheck. The cash benefit is based on your past work history, and you get the Medicare coverage after receiving 2 years of payments. So these programs are very different And how work affects your benefits depends on which one you receive. So that's why I wanted to go over this, because it's important to know what you get. If you're unsure of what type of benefit you currently receive, you can verify your benefit type online when you log into your My SSA account. If you have an award letter, a benefit verification letter, or a benefits planning query, or BPQY, from Social Security Administration. All of those documentations will tell you exactly what you are receiving. So again, today, the focus is going to be on benefits for and incentives for those 18 and over that are receiving SSI. All right, so these are the maximum SSI payments in California in 2025. So your check might actually be different depending on your income, your living situation, or other factors. So the maximum rate for a disabled individual is $1,206. If you are an individual in the household of another, it is $889. And the disabled individual who is blind, the maximum amount is $1,291. And again, we know with the cost of living, these will change every year. So there are many work incentives available to SSI recipients, and here are some common examples of those. So these incentives help reduce the amount of income that Social Security counts, meaning your SSI check isn't reduced as much and sometimes not at all. So these include the general earned income exclusion, which is the first $20, and then the earned income exclusion, which is another $65 that is excluded from Social Security counting. So, and even beyond that, they only count half of your earnings. So something to remember. We'll talk about it a little bit more. If you have disability related expenses that are needed for work, like special equipment, co-pays for medications, those might qualify as IRWEs, impairment related work expenses. Those won't be counted as well. And then for our individuals who are blind, we have blind work expenses, or BWEs, that allow you to deduct your work-related expenses from your earnings, even if they're not related to your disability of blindness. So this could be transportation, meals consumed at work, or even costs related to your service animal. A plan to achieve self-support, or PASS, lets you set aside income for a specific work goal. So it could be education or even starting a business. And then something called expedited reinstatement, or EXR. It's an incentive. So if your benefits stop because of work and then because of your disability, and then later you need to get back on benefits, then you can utilize EXR. So these incentives are all here to help you succeed by letting you work and plan and stay financially stable. Here are some supports especially helpful for our students. There is the student earned income exclusion, which we've heard a couple times already, SEIE, the big focus of today. It helps young people gain work experience and save for their future. So this is an extra advantage for students under 22 in school and working to make the money without reducing that SSI cash payment. So another option, incentive, if you make too much money to get an SSI cash payment, you can keep your Medi-Cal through something called 1619B. So if you meet certain rules, you won't lose your health care just because you started earning money. And you also have the option of utilizing an ABLE account, which will allow you to save money without losing your essential supports. And we will be discussing that amazing program in more detail on another slide. But overall, these programs and incentives are designed to protect the SSI cash benefit and to maintain that eligibility for the SSI and the Medi-Cal that comes with it. So a big question is always, what happens to my SSI when I go to work, right? Huge concern, huge question. Without using any incentives, Social Security counts half of that earned income when they adjust your SSI check. So for about every $2, they'll reduce by about $1. So even though people get a little nervous there, even though your SSI check is decreasing, that combined income and that SSI, even if it's lowered, is still more than you would have had. So you're in the green, right? That's always a good thing. And then again, students on SSI have that very beneficial work incentive called the Student Earned Income Exclusion. I'm going to cut that down to be SEIE for the rest of the presentation, just to keep my voice. But let's learn exactly how SEIE can help. I'm going to go ahead and share a short video with you all right now.
Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to talk about an amazing work incentive called the Student Earned Income Exclusion, or SEIE for short. And this program can help you work and earn money while keeping your SSI benefits. Let's learn how it works. The Student Earned Income Exclusion, or SEIE, is like having a special pass that lets you work without worrying about losing your benefits. And it was created specifically for students like you who want to gain work experience while focusing on their education. Think of it as Social Security's way of saying, we support your goals. Now let's see if you qualify for SEIE. There are 3 main requirements. You need to be under 22, already receiving Supplemental Security Income or SSI benefits, and be regularly attending school. For college students, that means at least 8 hours of classes per week, and for high school students, at least 12 hours. If you meet these requirements, you're eligible. Here's the exciting part, the actual numbers. In 2025, you can earn up to $2,350 every month, or $9,460 throughout the year, and these earnings won't affect your SSI benefits. That's a significant amount of money you can earn while keeping your full benefits. Pretty amazing, right? The process is straightforward. First, you find a job. It can be any type of work you're interested in. Then you'll submit an SEIE letter request to Social Security, and each month you'll need to report how much you earned. Social Security will review your income, and if it's within the limits we just discussed, that money won't count against your SSI benefits. It's that simple. Let's look at a real-world example with Paige. She worked part-time and earned $1,800 in January 2025. The monthly limit is $2,350, so all of Paige's earnings are excluded. This means she gets to keep all $1,800 and her full SSI payment. Notice how simple the calculation is. If you're under the limit, you're good to go. Now that you know how to earn money while keeping your benefits, let's talk about how to save it. CalAble accounts are special savings accounts designed specifically for people with disabilities. The best part? You can save up to $100,000 in a CalAble account without losing your SSI benefits. That's huge. You can use this money for things like education, housing, transportation, or work expenses. It's a smart way to build your financial future while protecting your benefits. You can learn more at calable.ca.gov. The benefits of SEIE go way beyond just earning money. You'll gain valuable work experience that can help with your future career. You'll learn new skills and build confidence. Plus, you get to keep your SSI benefits and Medi-Cal coverage. It's a fantastic opportunity to start building your independence while having a safe. We understand you might have questions, and that's okay. There are people ready to help you. You can contact the Social Security Administration directly. They're experts on SEIE and can answer all your questions. The California Department of Rehabilitation is also there to support you. You can also contact your local Work Incentive Planning and Assistance WIPA project for assistance. To find your local WIPA project, you can head over to the Choose Work website. Don't hesitate to reach out. These resources are here for you. You've now learned about this amazing opportunity, and the next step is yours to take. Whether you're interested in retail, office work, dog grooming, or something else entirely, SEIE can help you achieve your goals. Remember, this work incentive was created specifically to help students like you succeed. You've got this, and there are people ready to support you along the way.
Now you know what an amazing work incentive the SEIE is, right? So this slide here just kind of recaps the main points of the video we just watched. The video explained what SEIE is, how it works, and the benefits of using it if you qualify. So now we're just going to go over some calculation scenarios to really show you and break down how working and using the SEIE changes your financial situation. Here we're going to show how using gross monthly income, so some earnings of about $13.85 a month, would adjust your check if you're not using the SEIE or any other work incentive. So $13.85, that gross monthly income, we're going to reduce, we're going to use those income exclusions. They're automatic, which gives $1,300. Then again, like as I mentioned, they divide that number by 2, Social Security, to give you $650 in countable earned income. So again, based on that maximum SSI rate of 1,206, they'll subtract that countable income, which would adjust your SSI check to be about $556. So that gross income, your wages, plus that adjusted SSI would give you a total cash for the month of $1,941, okay? Which is obviously, again, just easy math, that's already better than just the SSI check alone, right? So this example with SEIE is going to show you how the total cash is higher, right? So we have that same gross wages, but we can subtract all of the SEIE for that month. So it brings the countable income to 0. So the max SSI rate without any exclusion leaves you at the max SSI, 1,206. So wages plus SSI, $2,591. What a difference, right? That's amazing. So moving on to healthcare, that's often much more of a concern than the cash benefits. Healthcare is critical, and the good news is Social Security has rules to protect your Medi-Cal coverage long-term while you work. So if you receive Social Security disability benefits, you can keep Medi-Cal, ensuring that continued access to the healthcare support that you need to succeed. So if you receive SSI cash, you are automatically enrolled in SSI-linked Medi-Cal. And if you continue to qualify for SSI, that Medi-Cal coverage remains active. Even if your SSI check stops because of wages, you can keep that free Medi-Cal through 1619B. Something key to remember, again, that $2,000 resource limit. Then, if you earn over the threshold for 1619B, you have the option of the Medi-Cal Working Disabled program. And that might help because it lets you keep that free Medi-Cal while you're working. And you can apply for that program at your local county Medi-Cal office through the Department of Social Services. So both of these programs help you keep your Medi-Cal while hopefully giving you the peace of mind while you're working. Something I feel is very important to mention today are situations where Social Security may decide that you are no longer disabled. This can happen if they determine that your condition has medically improved, or if you turn 18 and they find that you don't meet the adult disability requirements. However, there are important protections in place, and your benefits may continue if you are currently working with a vocational rehabilitation agency like DOR and actively preparing for employment as an adult, or if you are between the ages of 18 and 21 and you have an individualized education program or IEP while enrolled full-time in school. So this protection is known as Section 301. Now, if you're approved for those 301 continued payments, your SSI or SSDI benefits would not stop immediately. Instead, they'll continue to the end of your approved employment program. So this protection is designed to give you stability while you finish your program, and then you can successfully transition to work or independence without losing that financial support too early. Okay, CalAble, we learned a little bit about that in the video. Since SSI is a needs-based program, again, part of what you need to qualify is limited income and resources or assets. So to remain eligible for those SSI benefits, that Medi-Cal, your checking, savings, investments, all of that must not go over that $2,000 resource limit. So California's Achieving a Better Life Experience, known as CalAble, allows you to save and invest more than that $2,000 resource limit and does not count against your benefits, your Medi-Cal, and you can use these ABLE accounts for a wide range of expenses, education, transportation, housing, daily living costs, even a vacation. So it's great for students to be able to save for school or for living costs. And additionally, if you're planning on going to college, the money in your CalAble is excluded when you're completing that free application for student aid or FAFSA. And you can save up to $19,000 a year or more if you're working. And again, you can scan the QR code on this slide, go to the CalAble website, or give them a call for more information. So since I mentioned FAFSA, right, some good news is there are programs that are excluded from income and resources for SSI. So Title IV of the Higher Education Act is a law that covers major federal student aid programs. And these programs include Pell Grants, state student incentives, work study, academic achievement, incentive scholarships, and supplemental educational opportunity grants, and those Perkins and Stafford loans, as well as the Bureau of Indian Affairs, or BIA. Student assistance are also aid programs for Native American students, similar to some of the rules in the Title IV aid. So when these are used for tuition or other school costs, they do not reduce your SSI. There is something important to note regarding the grants and scholarships and fellowship funds. If you use funds for tuition, fees, or necessary school costs, that part is excluded from SSI for up to 9 months. But if you use them for food or shelter, Social Security counts that as income for the month, and then you must report it. So always keep records of how you spend these funds. All right, now that you know more about the support Social Security has to offer, it's important to understand that you need to communicate with Social Security. So starting a new job, internship, or paid work experience is really exciting. But if you're receiving SSI or other disability benefits, there are a few important things to remember to keep in mind just to make sure everything runs smoothly. So every month, you'll need to report how much you've earned, and you report those wages between the 1st and the 6th. If you forget, you might get a little too much money or maybe not enough money, which could cause some headaches down the road. So reporting matters since your SSI benefits are based on your earnings. So when you start making more, the SSI payment will usually go down. But again, don't worry. We have those work incentives like SEIE or the IRWIs that can help you keep more of your money. But again, to make sure you receive the benefits of these incentives, Social Security has to know about them. So there are several ways you can report your earnings. You can go online through your Social Security's website to your My SSA account. There is an SSI mobile wage reporting app for SSI recipients only. You can phone them in, you can mail them in, or you can report wages in person at your local Social Security office. Social Security also needs to know about other changes that might affect your benefits. So be sure to report if you start working, stop working, your hours or pay changes, if you move or change your living arrangement, if you get married, divorced. I know it can be stressful when you get a notice from Social Security in the mail, but keep in mind that is their standard way of communicating with you. So just know when you're reporting wages, you can expect a notice letting them know that they received your report of wages and about any reduction to your SSI. So usually close to the last page of these notices, they'll include a calculation page, and it'll show you how the exclusions were applied Or if you file for the SEIE, it'll show that the wages were not counted. So it's helpful to just keep your pay stubs, letters from Social Security, monthly receipts, your SEIE letter if you have one, and other important documents in a safe place. So I just encourage you to set up a filing system, whether paper or digital on your computer, so that you could access these documents easily at any time. Just keep reporting and stay informed. It's going to make things a lot easier in the long run. All right, some key takeaways from the day. Work is possible, right? And encouraged for our students on SSI. Students can work and earn money. Thanks to Social Security's work incentives or special rules, the SEIE lets you test out working while keeping some, if not all, your SSI benefits. SSI recipients are always better off financially when you're working. So just know that even if your SSI payment does go down, you'll typically be keeping that Medi-Cal coverage long-term so that healthcare stays protected. Again, that $2,000 resource limit, being it's there, just keep in mind of how much you save in your regular accounts. You have that great solution, something called the CalAble account we talked about. So save for that future without risking that SSI or that Medi-Cal or CalFresh. So big picture, again, you can work, you can build towards your goals, and you can keep the benefits that matter most. So all these programs are designed to help you and not hold you back. So what are your next steps? Now that I've shared some of these great resources with you throughout the presentation, we have plenty more. You can visit the Department of Rehabilitation website, the Disability Benefits 101 or DB 101 website, Ticket to Work websites. They are full of tools, guides, calculators, articles, videos, and events. So on the DOR's website, you can request student services, apply for vocational rehabilitation services, and find your local DOR office. There's information and resources for anyone receiving disability benefits on the Social Security Programs and Disability Benefit Planning Services page. Long title, I know. And there also is a designated section there for student and youth with disabilities as well. That DB 101 website, you can explore, read interesting articles about benefits. There are school and work calculators on there, so you can estimate the amount of SSI that you would receive when you do start working, and you can learn all about those Medi-Cal programs that I mentioned earlier. The Ticket to Work website is where you find that local work incentive planning and assistance project or WIPA project, or even a local employment network. At that Choose Work website, they can connect you with local services that help with employment services, benefits, counseling, and then you can go ahead and even register for upcoming work incentive seminar events or WISE, and check out archived Ticket to Work webinars. So these are free webinars designed to help you, your family, learn more about the Ticket to Work program and other needed and important Social Security work incentives. So using these resources can make managing benefits a lot easier and help you plan for that successful future. So again, as mentioned throughout this presentation, there are additional websites with all these different tools to help you understand how work is going to affect your benefits. So these resources are your go-to tools for navigating Social Security and work incentives. So the SSA, Social Security Administration, has people that can help you understand these programs and apply. So the main Social Security website, ssa.gov, has comprehensive information, but I especially want to highlight the Red Book. That's Social Security's complete guide to work incentives and is invaluable for understanding all the rules we've discussed today. Your My Social Security account lets you check your benefits, your earnings, gives you immediate access to important information and tools, basically putting you in control of your time. So you can request a replacement Social Security card, check the status of an application, estimate future benefits, or manage the benefits you already have. And you can report your wages there quick and easy. And then we've talked about saving money. That can be challenging for people with disabilities, especially with those different limits that there are. So we have the ABLE accounts, the ABLE National Resource Center at ablenrc.org has excellent resources, including webinars, state-by-state comparisons. So I encourage you to bookmark these sites and explore them after today's presentation. Again, that red book can answer detailed questions that come up as you consider your work option. That is it. So I hope that after hearing about all the programs, incentives, and resources that you feel much more confident about giving work a try. You can continue receiving those disability benefits and make the informed decisions about working and understanding that you have plenty of supports. So I mentioned earlier for like the personalized help, you can contact your DOR counselor for a referral to a work incentive planner or WIP. If you're not with the DOR, you can reach out to that local WIPA project, the Work Incentives Planning and Assistance Project, that has benefits counselors that can assist you. So that benefits planning query, that BPQI report from Social Security will help benefits counselors give you that individualized counseling that you may need.
All right. Wow, that's a lot of great information, Tina. Short period of time, just an amazing opportunity for students to take advantage of some of those supports and programs. So thank you so much for that.
Of
All right.
course.
So I know you did answer this, but I can work in school and still keep my Medi-Cal?
Yes, of course. 1619B would be option one. That those thresholds are pretty high. So as a student working probably typically part-time, right? Because you've got to focus on school, keep the grades up. You have 1619B, and beyond that, you have the Medi-Cal Working Disabled program. So you can earn a nice amount of money and still have that medical protection.
Yeah. Well, questions about the SEIE letter. So, is there a standard letter that schools with TPP programs should be providing to students and families to take advantage of the student earned income exclusion?
So there is a basic template. We can provide that. I think we're working on currently putting that up on our updated DOR website. Basically, it needs to be printed out on your school letterhead. And it basically says, this is my name. I go to school from this day to this day, this many hours. And then you send it along with like a copy of your school schedule and your ID. And then that will get sent off to Social Security for them to go ahead and approve that exclusion for you.
What if a student is more than 22 years old, Tina?
Unfortunately, the exclusion then would no longer apply. So basically, you use it as you can until you turn 22, and then unfortunately, at that point, you would have to utilize other exclusions to go ahead and assist in keeping some of that SSI money.
Right. And there are lots of other exclusions in a benefits planner, whether that's through the WIPA program Tina mentioned or a DOR work incentive planner, can help guide you towards those. The SSI or SEIE an annual request, or is it a calendar year? So it is a calendar year, January through December. So each January, if you want to request the student income exclusion, you will have to send in a request for the coming year. Good question. So to clarify, the student earned income is requested by submitting a school letter, school ID, and school schedule, then report monthly wages regardless of what is earned, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Gosh, thank you so much, Tina. Such valuable information. Again, if you have any questions, you can follow up with our Ticket to Work email or Ticket to Work helpline that might get you connected to the resources that you need. I know that the team will post that in the chat. But thanks again, Tina. And I mean, it's just great to have an expert on staff in student earned income exclusion as well as student services. So really appreciate this update today.
Thank you, Tish, and thank you everyone for your time. I really appreciate it.
I think we have a real treat. And kind of to make this more real, we're going to hear directly from two students who can share what this means, like from their lived experience. So let's see if we can't. Great. There we go. And there you are. Hi, Grace.
Hi.
So I am excited to introduce Grace Villegas. Grace is a student assistant with the Department of Rehabilitation in the Inland Empire. So she is a senior at Cal State San Bernardino, where she is earning her bachelor's degree in psychology, and she has big plans for the future, right? She wants to pursue her master's in social work and hopes to become a therapist. So outside of her studies and work, she enjoys Disney movies, who doesn't, traveling, and taking walks with her dogs. So thanks so much for joining us today, Grace, and just kind of sharing a little bit, sharing your story and a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, so hello. My name is Grace Villegas. I'll be finishing up my bachelor's degree next year in May. I'm a student with a disability, and overall, I'm just grateful and appreciative of all the support I've received.
Oh, that's great. You've got some pretty big plans, Grace, so I'm excited for your future.
Thank you.
Today we have a lot of students and parents and folks who are supporting or who are advocates of students with disabilities. And they're feeling hesitant about going to work because they're afraid of losing those SSI or Medi-Cal benefits. What would you tell them?
Yeah, I would tell them that I was also afraid of losing these benefits that I've had my whole life, and I didn't want to really risk it by finding employment. But with the help of my DOR counselor and the work incentives planner specialist, I found that there are ways to pursue that employment without losing the benefits. And I'm just grateful that I was able to find the correct resources that fit my needs and my situation.
Yeah, that is such a common fear, Grace, and everyone's journey looks a little bit different, but you really send an important message that there are safe ways to kind of move forward. We
Yes.
just have to explore what those are and get connected to the right resources.
Yes.
Yeah. So speaking of getting connected, how did you first get connected to DOR and like what kinds of supports have been available along the way?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story actually. I didn't even know what DOR was, or I didn't even know there was actually an agency out there that helped people with disabilities. It wasn't until I went to a tour at California Baptist University and I was provided a list with a bunch of resources, and DOR was actually one of them. And then I just called to see what services can be provided for me, and eventually I got college training, guidance. I got set up in a paid work experience. I got referred to a work incentives planner. And I'm currently working with the mobility evaluation program to determine what modifications are best for my van to help me with transportation and independence.
Wow, definitely sounds like you've been connected to some great resources.
Yes,
And it really,
definitely.
yeah, and it really kind of points out the importance for advocating for yourself. So while the college tour gave you the information, it was your follow through, right? And asking those questions that help you got connected. So good for you. So what really motivated you to start working while in school? And what's been the biggest benefit about that decision?
Yeah, my motivation for wanting to start working while in school was that I wanted some extra income and experience. My biggest benefit of this decision is that I've gotten my foot into the door into the career that I want to eventually pursue. And in my role as a student assistant, I've gained that experience working alongside the DOR counselors. The work I do has allowed me to attend different school sites and outreach and events. It has also helped me to earn extra money and travel and have fun. Overall, I would just say that my biggest advantage is being able to balance working, my benefits, and my paycheck.
Yeah. So it's a great reminder that work isn't just about money, right? It's also about building confidence and gaining experience and, helping to have a little bit of play money. So when you first thought about working, what was your biggest concern?
I would say that my biggest concern was losing the Social Security income and my in home support services and my medical benefits. I was also concerned. I was concerned because these supports helped me be more independent, and losing them would have not been good at all. Because I don't have that extra money to pay for my doctor's appointments and such. So I'm just relieved to know that having employment doesn't affect my education nor my work.
Yeah. I mean, benefits like in-home supportive services, IHSS, and
Yes.
Medi-Cal, I mean, they're essential, right?
Hmm.
So I'm just so glad that you shared that you don't always have to choose between independence, income, and those essential services.
Yes.
Yeah, but it does take steps to learn about what supports and programs are available. So before you were able to meet with your work incentive planner at DOR, had you heard about Social Security work incentives like the student earned income exclusion, Medi-Cal protections?
No, honestly, no, I had no idea. I wasn't aware that these kinds of like specialists and resources even existed. So I'm just glad that I got connected with them and got the guidance that I needed.
Yeah, I mean, so many people don't know about, these programs, the WIPA
Mm,
programs, the Ticket to Work supports, right? All that
yes.
free support and guidance that's available. So, kind of a real game changer.
Yes, yes.
So, did learning about the student earned income exclusion and Medi-Cal protections change how you felt about working?
Yes, it made me change my perspective on working. I felt more relieved and supported knowing that my benefits were protected and I wouldn't be risking anything. And I would say my aha moment was when I was told that I wasn't the only one with these kinds of concerns and hesitations. Learning about the work incentives gave me hope of pursuing employment, continuing school, all while working towards my independence.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely not alone in that fear-based
Yes.
concerns. Yeah. And knowledge really is power, right? Understanding the SSI rules, reporting wages, the protections, they can make a really big impact, right? And it's really, like we say, not just about working, but about working and staying protected and building for the future. So how did you let Social Security know that you wanted to take advantage of the student earned income exclusion? And did you run into any challenges? And then I'm just kind of thinking, are there any tips that you might share for those listening today to keep Social Security informed?
Yeah, after speaking with my work incentives planner, I knew that I had to submit my student earned income exclusion letter, my pay stub, my class schedule, and a letter from my school verifying that I was in school and taking classes with a number of course credits. The first time I went in person, and I hand delivered everything to my local social security office. They gave me specific envelopes, which are like prepaid already, to send in all my information every month. So now I have to just go like once a year, like it was mentioned in the presentation earlier, to renew everything. And it's actually an easy process once you have all the information needed. And then so I wouldn't say I ran into any challenges, but a tip I would definitely share is that it's important to send in that information every month and stay organized. It can be easy to forget, but it's better not to forget.
Yeah, you make it sound pretty easy. I know working with Social Security sometimes has its complications, but I'm so glad that you haven't run into any challenges. And definitely the tip for staying organized and consistent is key when working with Social Security, right? It kind of protects you should you have to follow up with them. So. All right, so it sounds like you've been able to keep most of your SSI payment during the school year without any issues. You're still receiving your Medi-Cal and your in-home supportive services. How has that helped you stay focused on work and classes?
Yeah, knowing that there have been no issues with my benefits have has definitely helped me keep a state of peace, especially while in school and work. It has allowed me to have that extra income to use if I need any kind of like school supplies or even to spend on myself. When it comes to the in-home support services, that continued support has helped me keep my independence.
Okay, great. So if another student said to you, I want to work, but I'm scared of losing benefits, what advice might you give them?
Yeah, I would say, it's totally understandable, but I would say to not let that fear stop you. I would highly recommend working with a work incentives planner who can help you figure out how working affects your benefits. They'll listen to your concerns and show you how to use the programs that are there to support you and your work and help you work towards your goals. And they would just overall help you take that full advantage of all the benefits.
Yeah. So I love this. Don't let fear stop you, basically, is the message, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So looking back on this journey so far, what are you most proud of, and what do you hope other students take away from your story?
Yeah, I would say something the most proud of is that I'm having that opportunity to work because of my disability. I never really would have imagined that I would have ever worked. I believed that it was a huge impediment to finding employment and that I wouldn't be able to work around it. But luckily, I found an amazing support system who has helped me and encouraged me to be where I am today. So I just hope that other students take away that everything is possible if you really, really want it. And there are many, many resources and supports that can help you be successful. So it's just a matter of looking, reaching out, and connecting with the right people.
Oh, thanks so much for sharing this powerful and inspiring story, Grace. It's
Thank
truly
you.
encouraging to hear about your accomplishments. And like I say, we wish you all the best as you finish up your degree. And I hope you
Thank
stay in
you.
touch because I really like
Yes.
to know, yeah, I like to know when you graduate.
Thank you.